Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Hello, this is Grace Allison, your host today, and we have with us Tanya Sands, a stay-at-home mom. Hi, Tanya, and welcome. We're really excited to talk with you today.
Thanks so much.
You're writing what we call erotic, big, beautiful women romances. Wow, that's a mouthful. Can you tell us what that is and what big, beautiful women romances are about?
Well, the term big, beautiful women is generally applied to women who are considered plus size. The stories that I write are based around those type of women, the plus size women. And my whole thought is anybody can find love. It doesn't matter your shape, your size, your color, your age. That's all I worry about that's the message that I'm trying to put out there is that women of all sizes, ages, everything, we're all going to find somebody.
Well, that's really, really exciting. So why did you choose to write these books?
Well, there's an old saying, write what you know. And I am a plus size woman. I'm married to a slender man. And, I figured why not? I mean, I got tired of reading books where all the characters were, not that there's anything wrong with that, more power to them. But there didn't seem to be that type of book out there. I mean, when I first started writing them back in 2013, when the idea came to me, there were some authors that were beginning to write the BBW type books. And the genre has actually grown steadily over the years.
That's exciting. What makes your books different from others in your genre?
Well, my series, The Chasers, specifically, again, all the ladies in the books are curvy women, BBWs. They're all friends, and each of the book in the series, they're going to be varying genres. There's not only are they BBW, but there will be some BDSM, some menage, some new age. I believe that's like young 20s, or there's even some interracial. So it's just a little bit of everything. For it doesn't matter what you prefer, you'll find that type of book in my series.
Yes, and your first book, Devil Her Pleasure, didn't that win an award?
It did. Back in 2014, it won. There is a blogger. Her name is Mary Minaj. She only reads Minaj books, and my book was nominated in the first year that it came out, and it did win Best Minaj Book for 2014.
Wow, that's really exciting. So in your series of books, you've got Devil Her Pleasure was the first one, and then Mobile Pleasure was that about? What's Mobile Pleasure about? Is that moving around?
Mobile Pleasure is it's a BDSM book, heavy on the S&M from what my readers have concluded.
Slow down. Wait. If you can take the acronyms and tell us what those mean, the BB and those, because we want to educate our.
BDSM stands for bondage, dominance, submission, or bondage, dominance is submission and masochism. So it's the kinky lifestyle.
Oh, okay. Kinky lifestyle. Is that sort of like Shades of Grey?
Kind of, yeah.
50 Shades.
Kind of, yeah.
Sort of like
it's
that?
in that same genre, yeah. Yeah, but mine, the mobile part comes from the main character has a mobile dungeon built.
He has a mobile what?
He has a mobile dungeon. That's what a playroom.
Dungeon. Oh, a dungeon. A dungeon that he moves around.
Yes.
Oh, I
yes.
see. Okay.
He has a friend of his who is a general contractor who gets his own book later on. Sam Jensen is the main male character in Mobile, and he has a friend of his transform a tractor trailer into a mobile dungeon.
A mobile dungeon. Okay. So the S&M takes place in this big interior space that he moves around.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Wow. How do they find it?
The whole dungeon is it's on like a personal level. It's basically he invites 2 or 3 other couples to play because it only can hold up to a certain amount of people in the dungeon while it's being driven around.
Right.
So he has about 6 that are there.
Right.
And that's pretty much that's the limit. Yeah.
Okay. So is Sam a gigolo?
No, ma'am. He's actually a Navy veteran, and when he was in the Navy, he had this idea to start his own trucking company. So he has a trucking company called Smacks Hauling. Smacks
Hauling.
Smacks Hauling. That kind of gives a nod to his kinky lifestyle. But it's a trucking company that he works up and down. He runs it up and down the California coast, and he's actually part of there's a club in San Diego. It's called oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I'm blanking out on the name of my own club. Silence Rapture. Silence Rapture is the name of the club, and he's part owner in the club. So generally, the people that are in the mobile dungeon with him are other club members.
Oh, I see. Okay, well that makes sense. Makes sense. Okay, then you have book number 3, which is Recipe for Pleasure. What mode of sexuality is this book?
This is actually what's considered New Age. So the 2 main characters are in their mid-20s. And actually the main male character is the son of the woman in book 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your characters are actually your characters are going from book to book to book. So that's why this is a series.
Absolutely, and they all make some kind of cameo in the other books. Not in all of them, but for the most part, the main characters, the main men and the main women, the 2 sets of friends do make cameos in all of the books. I do have 7 books planned, and right now there are 6 books live.
Okay, I want to ask you one question. So you said this book was New Age.
Yes.
Is that not confusing with the concept of New Age metaphysics? How is this New Age?
Well, it's New Age. I don't know if the term is New Age or New Adult or what the exact term is, but in the romance world, I believe it's either New Age or New Adult. It's one of the other. But it revolves
so
more around. It revolves more around adults. They're around adults who are in their early to mid-20s.
Okay, early to mid-20s. So that's
Correct.
Why you're calling it New Age, because they're younger people coming into sexuality in a new way.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So then we've got Constructed Pleasure. That's the number 4 book in this series. And
That's
so what is that
Pleasure,
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that one about?
That one is the book revolves around Gerald Sutton, who everybody calls him Pack because he's kind of like a pack rat. He's the general contractor of the group, and all of his friends know that if you give something to Pack, he can make something out of junk. He's the guy that can transform things into usable items. And he's the guy that was working on Sam's mobile dungeon. He's the one that did the transformation. So
okay.
he has a general contracting business, and he knows the lady who is the main female character. Her name is Sayun Alvarez. She's kind of quirky. She's half Mexican and half Vietnamese, which is an interesting combination. Yeah. She owns her own landscaping business called Sayun to Grow, kind of like a play on the words soon to grow. And they know each other because of the first two books. They're friends with the women in those two books, Randa Michaels in book 1 and Josie in book 2. So they know each other, and they're kind of Sayun is very interested in Pac, but she's not sure if he's interested in her. He's a widower. He's got a 15-year-old son that is very precocious and kind of pushes his dad towards Sayun, encourages him to date her.
Okay, then we've got book number 5, which is Captured Pleasure.
It's a menage, and one of the main male characters is Randa Michaels from book 1.
We're gonna stop right here and take a break for our sponsors, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thank you, Tanya. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
Thank you.
Howdy, I'm John Cruder, the Midnight Marauder. I guess you might say that I'm a vigilante who rights the wrongs I see along my many travels to balance the scales of justice, especially those of the corrupt and murderous members of the Town Council of Bandera, Texas. You can follow my many adventures in a series of Midnight Marauder books written by Roy Clinton on Amazon.com and TopWesterns.com. Or, if you prefer, listen to my adventures in audiobook form by downloading them from Audible.com or iTunes. This is R. William James, the voice of the Midnight Marauder.
Do you love to read great new ebooks? Visit EBG247.com. Be the first to discover the next bestseller. At EBG247, we have the web's largest selection of great new book reads, from that amazing new fiction or nonfiction to horror, romance, and fantasy. We even have today's best children's books. That's EBG247.com. New books arrive daily, and all ebooks start at just 99 cents. If you love to read, then you'll love EBG247.com. Low prices, large selection, and an easy-to-use website. It's all only at EBG247.com.
Headlines. Cryptocurrency vultures are circling around failing governments. Darknet predators are rushing to market with their newest digital product. They promise economic salvation, even as they coupon clips straight from your digital wallet. The newest techno-thriller installment from Breakfield and Berkey, The Enigma Source. Book 10 of the Enigma series continues the combat of cyber good guys versus cyber thugs set in today's digital landscape. A new online bookstore, IndieLector.store, is unlike any other. IndieLector.store offers great prices from top indie authors and supports authors at the same time by paying them more for their books. IndieLector.store has a readers club that gives you free books and special deals. Watch the IndieLector.store continue to grow before it opens in the fall of 2019 at IndieLector.store.
I Will Be the One by Larry Farmer, published by the Wild Rose Press.
When I arrived at the Manila International Airport in February 1984 in a group of prospective Peace Corps volunteers and looked out the window at the miles of ghetto around me, it took every ounce of idealism I had to stay. I already had a best friend in our group, a girl I'd met back at the staging area in San Diego named Lois. It made being friends appealing since we probably were going to be stuck out in the middle of nowhere after we finished training.
Love to read? Love to meet authors in person? Then check out bookfestival.network to find a book festival in your region of Texas. We are adding book festival events throughout the year, so sign up to get notices and even a coupon towards purchase of a Texas author's book. Sign up at bookfestival.network. Hello, Texas authors. My name is Randy James, coming to you from my Carrollton recording studio, where I spend time writing and producing commercials for my radio endorsement clients, as well as my private freelance clients. I'd like the opportunity to help you sell more books with a commercial like this and get listeners of Dear Texas Radio excited about your title, all at a special introductory price, available to members of the Texas Association of Authors. Call or text 214-762-1942. That's 214-762-1942. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Welcome back. This is Grace Allison, your host, and we have with us Tanya Sands, who is writing books about curvier women. And Tanya, tell us, with your Chaser series nearing its end, where do you go from here?
Well, currently, Chaser series is set in San Diego, California. My plan is to kind of take it to another city, another major city, and Chicago is the next city on the list. Every time I move it to a new city, there will be somebody in the city who knows somebody from the previous city, if that makes sense. So, like, for Chicago,
yeah.
Okay, so for Chicago, one of the characters is actually the cousin of Sam Jensen in book 2 of The Chasers.
Oh, that's neat. So these new books, is there going to be a new theme involved? What's the theme?
Well, it's mainly going to revolve around sports figures, either players that are soon to retire or still playing, and it's going to be several different sports. And they're probably going to have around the same kind of genres, the same kind of variety. You know, there'll probably be a BDSM, there'll probably be a menage, that kind of thing.
Yeah, will you be traveling to these places on location for background?
I wish. You mentioned that I'm a stay-at-home mom. My husband is a truck driver, so he gets to drive to all these places and tell me all about it. I stay at home with our children. I stay at home with our 2 children. We have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and we have 4 dogs currently, and we're getting another one this coming weekend. Crazy. My husband calls me the crazy dog lady. So no, I tend to do a lot of research online on the cities that I choose. I don't even know why I chose San Diego. Probably because of the very moderate temperatures it has year round.
Do you have any secret projects you can tease us with?
I kind of do. Right now, I write the BBW erotic romances under Tanya Sands. I'm working on a non-romance project, kind of like it's going to be like a legal thriller kind of thing, or like a police show episode, like of the TV shows. And each book, I'm planning on being a new case that the main character solves. So it's kind of loosely based on an old Western series that started back in the 70s, called, written by Tabor Evans, and it's called Long Arm, about a 1890s U.S. Marshal. I'm going to kind of give it a more modern twist to it, but it's going to be along the same lines where this NSA agent is going to be solving different cases in each book.
And where's that setting? Do you have a city for that?
Right now, I have it so that his home base is in Boston, Massachusetts, but it could change. He's originally from the Southwest, the main character's grandfather was one of the Apaches that that served during the Second World War. So it could go anywhere. I mean, I plan on having him travel throughout the whole U.S.
Wow, that's exciting. Now let's talk about your sales. You've been doing some really exciting things with getting people to buy your books. And tell us what you're doing on Facebook.
Well, I try and do as much. They have takeovers on Facebook where it's a virtual book signing or a virtual party. I try and do as many of those as I can. They're not as popular as they used to be. When I first got into writing 5 years ago, you would see these takeovers, these online parties, like almost every day. And I still try and do those because, especially new ones, new authors to me, because they have a base that doesn't know me. So I can go into their base of readers and introduce myself into them and hopefully get them hooked on me.
So there's a group called, and what is the group called?
Well, it depends. There's a lot of authors have online release parties, online cover reveals, a lot of the book blogs. They'll have anniversary parties. So I'll go on and I'll talk about my books. I'll give away some free stuff. You know, I try and suck people in. You know, I try and tell them about my characters and, you know, try and get them to relate to my characters.
So where can they find you on Facebook?
I have a Facebook page under Tanya Sands, and I'm under Tanya Sands on Facebook. I believe I'm the only one author-wise on Facebook.
Okay. And if they want to email you, what would your email be?
My email would be tanya.sands@yahoo.com.
Okay. And you're available also on Amazon, is that right? All of your books are there?
All of my books are on Amazon. They're also on Smashwords. And there's also a site called Draft to Digital. It's not as well known as Smashwords and Amazon, but it is gaining a lot of interest in it. So I do have 3 platforms right now that all my books are currently available.
Very good. Now, there was a series of books that we forgot to talk about, and that's the ones about the tattoo people, the tattoo parlor. I thought that was so cool.
That is my spin-off.
Yeah.
That's my spin-off
Tell us
trilogy.
about the spin-off, yeah.
That's actually based around Sayun. She's the character in book 4 in Constructed Pleasure. Her brother owns a tattoo parlor in San Diego. And he has 3 people working for him. He has 2 guys that tattoo, and he has a woman that works for him that does the piercing. And all of it revolves around his shop. And it's kind of a unique kind of trilogy because it's also tied in with another author's trilogy. We have our characters have cameos in each of our books.
Who is the other author that you're writing with?
That would be Jana King.
So
She's
you're sharing
a fabulous writer.
So you're sharing your stories next to each other, or kind of collectively?
They're kind of happening at the same time. It turns out that the series that Jana writes is about a heavy metal band, and this heavy metal band happen to be clients of the tattoo shop. And they became friends. So they all they all know each other. And just to give a little bit of a tease, each book has a little bit of a heavy orgy scene in it with all the characters playing together.
Whoa.
It can, believe me, it's very chaotic. And when Jana and I write these scenes, we have to be on spot with our dialogue and everything. It's kind of a nuisance, but we love our characters.
Sounds like a big party, the two of you.
Yeah, she's my best friend. She's my absolute best friend. And I get all of my information for Wicked Ink., which is the name of the tattoo shop. I get all of my information. Anytime I have questions, I ask her because, ironically, her husband owns a tattoo shop.
Oh, wow. That is so cool. So are you neighbors? Do you live in the same town?
Nope. I met her through a giveaway in 2014, and she lives in Seattle, Washington. I live in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. And she's your best friend? Long
She's
distance.
my best friend. Absolutely. I've met her once. My family took a drive, our vacation last year. We drove up to Seattle. We spent a few days with her and her family, and then came home. But, yes, she's my absolute best friend.
Oh, that's
we
exciting.
actually joke.
It sounds like
that we have, between us, we have one brain.
Okay, we're going to wrap the show up. Is there anything more you want to tell our audience about what you're doing and how they can experience your books?
Well, I just want to let the listeners know that if you're not in a relationship, don't give up. There is absolutely somebody out there for everyone. It doesn't matter shape, size, color. Doesn't matter if you're considered attractive or not. There's always somebody out there for you.
And what you're finding also is the big, beautiful women are attracting a large audience.
There are a lot of men out there that are considered what society calls chubby chasers. And that's why I named my series The Chasers. I kind of wanted to make it a positive thing instead of the negative connotation that society gives it.
That's really exciting.
Thank you.
So you're wrapping up your Curvier Women series, and you're working on the tattoo series, and then you're going to have the books in Chicago, right?
Yes.
And so, well, I just want to thank you so much for being with us, Tanya. We've really enjoyed you. And
thank you
good
so
luck
much
with
for
your
having
work.
me. Thank you so much.
Texas Authors is proud to be a supporter of IndieBeacon.com, a website that supports indie authors from around the world. If you are looking for help with marketing or getting published, IndieBeacon.com can assist you. Years of experience by the founder is available to any indie author looking for help. IndieBeacon.com, a place for creative souls to find help in marketing their creations. Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website at indiebeacon.com.